New record for completely screwing everything up for Twilight. Literally, before they even get close to the main theme playing, Twilight has already made a blatantly obvious and critical screw up that got us Spike's "you gotta be kidding me" face. This should be fun to watch. And it was. To celebrate a relatively arbitrary anniversary, which they were informed by Pinkie Pie, of course. It's like 1111th time Celestia raised the sun, was it? So Twilight writes a play about the first time she ever raised the sun. We get some character building on Celestia, namely that she absolutely adores theater. Fun. She literally gives a fairly decent impression of Pinkie Pie without trying to. And Twilight, in her infinite wisdom, decides to make Princess Celestia the lead actress, playing herself. Celestia can't act. Not even like herself, apparently. Is that even possible? I mean, if you were asked to play yourself in a movie or a stage production based on events that you already took part in, wouldn't that just be the easiest thing in the world, in theory? But apparently not. And Twilight promptly forgets everything she knows about friendship, and despite constant reminders from Applejack, does not tell Celestia the truth, trying to spare her feelings. And it's technically an old lesson, but at the same time, it's a bit of a twist because the person she's dealing with is Celestia. This is her mentor. And for the majority of people, that, that creates a very, very different situation because they don't feel like they can behave the same way around someone like that than they do the rest of their friends. She considers Celestia a friend, but she's not a friend, And so, needless to say, everything goes wrong exactly as you knew it would the moment you got Spike's WTF face. And we get some nice kind of like shout outs to previous things. There's the return of the Lesson Zero smile, of Twilight's absolute crazy panic. And of course, another return of everyone's favorite comedic trope, the return of Trollestia. She can't act. They show the entire episode. She can't act for the life of her. Until she's trolling someone. Then she's a flawless actress. Fools everybody. Okay? It's funny at least, but okay. Um, but we're back to the main lesson of honesty is always one of the most important things. It doesn't matter who the friend is or what's going on. It is more important to be honest with them and try and come up with a solution than to try and spare their feelings until things just go completely to hell in a handbasket. You know, and maybe it's a lesson because people do interact differently with different people. When you've got someone who is normally in a position of authority over you and a position of respect that you have for them, like a mentor or a leader, it's sometimes a lot harder to be honest with those people because a lot of times those people have done a lot for you and you don't want to hurt their feelings. You don't want to feel like you've disappointed them or let them down by not being able to come through. But, there are some social tendencies that, kind of need to be overlooked at certain times, like when you need to tell someone the truth about something. If the Bible says that open rebuke from a friend is better than basically nice things being said to you by your enemies or just people you don't know. And basically what that means is it's better to be told up front by the people who are close to you when you screw up. It is better for them to be honest with you than, to have people basically being constant yes men. Because the truth is how we grow. The truth is how we move past the things that are holding us back. If we are unaware of a situation for whatever reason, not of its existence, but like say, a behavior that we don't necessarily see or we don't allow ourselves to see, having someone bring it to our attention in a truthful but caring manner allows us to grow, whereas just having everyone overlook it, well, that's how you end up with people acting like spoiled brats. But, so, good episode. Semi-rehashed moral, but at the same time, it's one of those kinds of morals that even in our own lives we tend to have to revisit and rethink and go over and over and over, because it's one of those painful truths that we tend to try to avoid because it causes, friction between us and other people. If a friend really wants to do something and it's just kind of a hopeless situation, instead of telling them that they're doing fine, it's more important to, especially when you're the director of a play, like in this case, if you are the director and you've made a friend given a friend a role because you know that they've always wanted this role, you still need to do your job as director as well as be truthful to your friend if they're not doing it right. And Twilight didn't really do that. She had a responsibility as the director and the producer to direct and, point out the problems where they are, and she didn't do that. She just kept, you know, glossing over things instead of continuing to work with it openly. And that's where the real problem ended up falling in. But it was a good episode, and when they put Celestia, or rather Celestia put herself in a place within the production that was far more fitting her particular talents and nature, everything went off very beautifully. So, if you haven't seen it yet, sorry about the spoilers. I mean, it's kind of hard to give first thoughts on an episode without actually talking about what happened in the episode. I've tried it in previous videos, and frankly, I don't think those videos turned out very well. I mean, I don't script this. I just kind of turn on the camera and sort of babble at it. Because, I mean, a lot of people, when they think video logs, people, they script it, they tape it, they edit it. For me, this is less of a video log and more of just kind of me being me to try and give some kind of bit more of a personal connection with my viewers in a way that I can, because when I'm typing, because of the nature of that, when I'm talking to people over text, like on Kick or, Skype, Facebook, any kind of chat room or forum, you're reading as you're typing, and you can make edits. You can look at it and go, that's not a good thing to say. We're not going to say that. However, when I'm talking, whatever pops up here just kind of makes it out of my mouth. And so I kind of get a more real showing of me, scatterbrained that I can be. So, yeah, I'm babbling. We're at 12 minutes, so this is way longer than any video, partially just because I've been a bit scatterbrained and gone off on tangents. Definitely leave your responses in the comments. That's why I make these videos. I love getting, comments and responses, not insults. That those don't help anybody. And there's an old saying, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. But now obviously there's a fine line between that, because you can be critical without being mean. You can be nice and critical, which people don't always seem to understand, and I'm about to go off on another tangent. So I'm going to end this here. Have a nice day. And I will see you guys next week. Or rather, you'll see me, unless you leave me video responses, which that might be very interesting to get to. Later, everypony.